Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fifth Line Podcast. As we hinted at last week, we've finished the trio of episodes with only three of us, and this time Nick's going to be the missing link here.
Last week that was a joke.
It was intended as a joke, and then it ended up being true. But it's okay. There's no unsafeness. Nick's just got some other things he wants to do, which is fine.
He doesn't want to hang out with us.
Yeah,
man.
he thinks we're lame.
Well, yeah, might be onto something there, but
fair enough. But you guys did a whole bunch of not lame stuff recently.
Oh boy, yeah.
Eric has 2 games, one female PHF game.
Oh my god!
And then both of these boys went to see an NHL game live.
I forgot about the PHF game.
And Benny went to Canada. Benny's first time in Canada in a long ass time.
In over 2 years, which is wild.
Yeah, but Ben, I need to. Hearing that you went to Canada restored a piece of my soul, so I want you to take us through how it restored your soul.
Oh, it was wonderful. The process getting through actually wasn't that bad, although it's kind of funny. Literally on the 1st, they're going to stop requiring testing to get across. So if it was the next Saturday, I wouldn't have had to go to Walgreens to get a test, but it was a free test, so it was whatever. Although I've never done a COVID test before. Ooh. And they were like, oh yeah, just take the swab and like stick it in there and like spin it around for like 15 seconds in each nostril. And I'm like, all right, this can't be that bad. And then as soon as I'm just like, oh fuck, start sneezing, my eyes start watering. But I was negative, so
See, that's weird.
And then so getting across, we just had to also do, there's a app they have, the Canadian government has, called Arrive Can. And you have to like go in and do some like a symptoms quiz, and like you have to put in your info and what time roughly you're going to be going across. But then we did all that, and we literally were at the border for like 2 minutes. The border lady there was great. She just got us through, so that was nice. But then the actual game, before we went, because we got in around 5:30, 5:45, and then because my brother had to work till 4, so we were like, all right, we gotta try something quick probably for food. So we went to Trois Brasseurs because that's pretty good beer, and then like the food will be pretty quick.
Really good beer.
So we had some food there. It's great. Get down to the game, don't miss a minute of it. We weren't even late for the game after getting food, which I wasn't sure. It was going to be a little tight. And just walking through Montreal and like walking into I'm just like, this feels so right again. Like this is like, it had been so long and it just felt so right. And then getting into the first, they get scored on 30 seconds in.
Oh, sweet. Walking in, we were so excited.
Wasn't great. And I'm fairly certain it ended 1-0 Toronto after 1. And they were outplaying. They were outplaying the Habs for the whole game. And we'll get to that at the end. We'll get to that at the end. But then early on in the second, I think it was, looked like they tied it up. We all jump up and go fucking nuts. And like my brother and I over the course of the game also kind of made friends with a few of the guys behind us that were Habs fans. And we were like, by the end, every time they scored, we were like fucking high-fiving drunkenly, and it was great. Devo scores, gets waved off for an offside, but then before the end of the period, David Savard, offensive defenseman David Savard, just killing it, comes in and gets the cross crease goal. Which, sure, why not? And I think it was later in that second period, I got to see a Cole Caulfield goal in person. So that made the whole trip worth it, because like he's still so new. So that was awesome. He scored a beauty wrister on the power play in the second to go up 2-1.
That was a beauty shot.
A hell of a shot. And it was kind of funny. I didn't hear it until after the fact. But apparently on the fucking Hockey Night in Canada broadcast, Craig Simpson was saying, because he had a few missed wristers that went high like before the goal earlier in the game. Apparently Craig Simpson on the broadcast was being like, he's really got to learn to shoot for a rebound, then you get the and I'm like, no, the last thing Cole Caulfield should ever do is stop trying to pick corners, as the guy whose thing is picking corners, and he's rather good at it. And then of course a few shifts later on the power play, just beautiful. So Cole Caulfield goal, great to see. The third period, bad. It was bad. I think they got outshot something stupid like 20 something to like 5 in the third period alone.
I believe it was
Uh,
24-3, according to Steve Dangle's video.
there we go. Cool. Well, one of those three we'll get to because it was the important one. Toronto tied it on the power play. I think it was Nylander, but then I was just like, all right, we're here, we're tied. Can we just let's do this? I like going in before. I was like, as long as they make it a good game, it'll be fun. But like now we're in the third period. I'm a few Molsons in, and I'm like, all right, it's the Leafs. Fucking beat them. God damn it, do it. And Jake Allen heard me. He did his level best. But then on just a cheesy like 3-on-1, Paul Byron, the dagger, scores to go up 3-2. I think it was 2.5 minutes left. And then they do pull their goalie, but then I think it was Dvorak ended up getting the empty netter, and the building just went fucking nuts. And it felt so goddamn good. It felt so good to be back there. It felt so good to beat the Leafs. It felt so good. If this had been any other year where like they're like supposed to be like a good team, they're supposed to be in it and like progressing, but I would be a little more concerned about the 51 to like 20, or no, it wasn't even 20. They didn't even crack 20. I think it was 18 or 19. Yeah, I'd be a little more concerned about that. But for this season, it's just a goof. Like, hey, fuck it, look at this. They did the thing. And Jake Allen is a beautiful, beautiful man. And that was my night. It was a wonderful time. And then on the way back, first of all, we hit up St. Viator Bagels on the way out. So I got a dozen bagels with me. I put a few in the freezer to keep them. Dude. Then I got a few more to eat in the next couple days.
I want to try a Montreal bagel so badly.
We gotta have a bagel off at some point.
Yep.
Yep. They gotta. I would say I'd save one in my freezer for it, but like, nah, I gotta get some fresh stuff.
Yeah,
gotta get some fresh stuff.
Fresh v fresh. You guys gotta get them and drive them to Albany.
It's gonna happen.
And then also because I didn't think this was gonna be the plan, but because my brother, he had actually not brought his car to work. He had gotten dropped off by his wife because she was getting her car fixed. She had his truck. So he didn't have a ride. So we went back to Burke today. So on the way, stopped at Gregoire's. And oh my God, it's still just as good as it was 2 years ago. My goodness. Having me a slaw dog and just the best fucking fries. I don't know what they do to those fries, but
yeah, it's a Canada thing.
Too fucking good. Because it's Gregoire's, P-Vans as well.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Or LeBlanc Patat if you're actually looking up the business name, if you want to go there.
Why is it called P-Vans?
That was I'm fairly certain that was just the name of the restaurant before it switched owners, and then it just stuck so hard that's what everybody calls it in Northern New York for some fucking reason. But yeah, it was just a great fucking day. I went in with my brother. Great time. Get the Caulfield shirt. I have a very nice toque I also got, but it's in my car and I didn't want to go get it. So
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Does it have a pom-pom or does it not have a
It does have a pom-pom. I will describe it. It's got like a off like cream white and blue striping on the top bit, a red band, and then in like vintagey lettering, it's got a blue MTL on the front.
That's
cool. That sounds cool.
That's cool. Yeah, it's different. I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Nice. That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Makes me want to go.
Good time had by all.
Makes me want to go in for a game and get some goddamn hot dogs.
You should.
I don't know how many more tickets we'll be getting for the rest of the year, but the other cool thing was they do all the ticketing via phone now, and like the Canadians app. It might have disappeared by now, but let's see. Is it still on my tickets? Like the Canadians app, you just bring up the tickets in. You have to log in through Ticketmaster, which took me for fucking ever the other night to figure out because it's got Ticketmaster in tiny little writing. And it just said log in. So I kept trying to log in with my Club 1909 account. And I'm like, why the fuck is it? I just made this password. What do you fucking mean? And then I was like, ticket. Oh, okay.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, here it is. But it's kind of cool. You can't see the barcode anymore. But
like a graphic of it or
normally there was a thing you could hit barcode and a little tickety barcode would show up there. But it's after the event. So I think it's gone.
sense.
But
That's really weird hearing you describe that, because UBS is such a new arena that you have I have a UBS app, and the way tickets look to me is just that Ticketmaster and the same thing. They look exactly like the Montreal tickets, just with Islanders colors essentially. But it's just so weird.
Disappointed. I mean, I understand why, because of all of like, oh, what if games canceled, COVID cancellations all through the year. The schedule was going to be so fluid this year, and no matter what, that like paper tickets were not realistic. And the Bell Center was pushing away from those for a while. But my grandpa always still kept getting paper tickets, which I'm mad because now I don't have one to put in this.
That's awesome, yeah.
Wow, look at
that. Yeah, it was cool. I just wish I had. He was like, look at this. So cool when you get them all lined up.
What a collection there.
I'm not gonna go look for it right now, but I still have the ticket from the PK Subban game.
Oh yeah.
I still have that ticket. It's on my dresser somewhere.
Well, was that his homecoming when he was in?
Yes,
on
when he was a
Nashville?
Pred. Yeah.
Although there would be something kind of poetic about the final ticket I would have in the book would be the final game before COVID. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like all the way up until March 2020.
Also, this was apparently one of my French binders at some point.
French. Nice.
Nice. Well, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Yeah.
It was really fun. I like the entire time I was just like, yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah, we'll have to try and do that again next year or something. So I need some Three Bros as well.
And then some Greg's on the way out.
Yeah.
Also, like, I guess all you got to do is wait 2 years. All of the construction, well, not all of the construction. It's Montreal. There's always going to be construction, but like all of the construction that was always around the routes that I would always use was done.
Oh,
so
they got it done while nobody was walking around.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Benny's night. That sounds sweet. And Eric had a game as well. I don't know which one you want to talk about first.
I'll just talk about both of them. I had 2 games.
Go for it.
It's a crazy week. Oh my god. Yeah. So last minute, I missed the podcast last week because my good friend Rena follows the PHF, and I don't want to say she has a favorite team. I guess the Connecticut Whale would be one of her favorites. It's between them and the Metropolitan Riveters.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to see a Connecticut Whale game, and they were playing the Toronto Six. This game was actually kind of important in the sense that it meant a lot for playoff standing. Mm-hmm. So Toronto, the day before, it was a back-to-back. I went for the Sunday game. The Saturday game, Toronto beat them in overtime, and that meant that Toronto was in first place.
Mm-hmm.
If Connecticut won in regulation, they would jump into first place before the playoffs started, which the playoffs are in Tampa, by the way, for those of you that don't know. They're in Tampa Bay right now.
Interesting. Nice. So are they just, because there's no Tampa team, so they're just doing a neutral site tournament?
They're just doing a neutral site, yes.
That's interesting.
Right. So a few interesting things happened. First off, do you remember the documentary that I was telling you guys to watch, the Crimes and Punishment thing about that mafia-run hockey team, the Trashers?
Yeah,
I never watched it.
The arena that this game was played in was that arena.
Yeah,
I was in the arena. I looked at the wall and I'm like, no way. There is the Trashers banner, and it was like UHL or no UC. What's the league? Oh God, I should know this.
ECHL?
ECHL, something like that. Champions or regular season champions, and they had AJ Galante and Jim Galante's names on like a honorary pen flag or something.
Yeah. Nice.
So funny. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, this arena was built on mob money. This is cool. This is pretty awesome. No, that's not to the viewers. That's not directly what happened. It's more complex than that. Go watch the documentary.
It's not totally factual.
No. But really nice arena. It sat about 3,000 people max, I think. I'd say maybe a little under 200 were there. It was mostly players' families. And honestly, I know we're trying to grow women's hockey as a sport. This was a rescheduled game because COVID messed up some regular season games. So a lot of the people in the stands were really close friends and family. There weren't a lot of like fans. I think because of the rescheduling, it made it more difficult. So kind of a smaller crowd, but
What was the
still
game
really
like, though?
nice.
How was the game?
Game was phenomenal. So we were all spoiled. To any of the viewers that don't know, we saw Plattsburgh's women's hockey team play all 4 years of college, and they're phenomenal. And the best way to describe this game, it's like that, but like way faster, and the physicality is much more. The passes are way harder. The shots are like just everything up to notch. Most of the women on the roster, they gave us a little poster, and most of them were from schools like Yale, University of Maine, stuff like that. So essentially, these are really good D1 women's hockey players now playing professionally. So absolutely fantastic. And Connecticut won 5-0. I don't have much of the game to talk about because they dominated. They went Yes. They went
after
1 for 8.
Losing in overtime the night before.
Yes, they dominated because it was really important for them. Toronto obviously wanted to stay in first. Also, it wasn't Connecticut, so it is a home game for them. And Toronto did travel, so I guess that could have affected the outcome. But Connecticut was on fire. They went 1 for 8 on their power play, which it's like 1 for 8. They got 8 power plays. Toronto could not stay out of the box. Yep, they killed all their momentum. So Connecticut was just able to keep cycling and keep just like forechecking really hard all game. There were some beauty goals scored. There was a backhander on a breakaway, bar down, absolutely gorgeous. I think it was the 4th goal of the game. Make it 4-0 or 3-0.
Okay.
And it was a great time. These games are, guys, if you get the chance to go here, the players after the game walk through the lobby. You could just say, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? Great game." And they're like, "Oh, thanks."
That's cool.
Like very chill.
That is cool.
They let dogs come in. So my friend Rena's best friends, or not best friends, she's Twitter friends with some of these players. And so she was chatting with a defenseman on Connecticut. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking on her name, but she's a really good defenseman. Her last name is Turner. Oh goodness, yeah, Turner.
I think
Sharon.
I was thinking of Soraya Tinker. That's a different player.
Yeah. But her husband was there, and they have this big German Shepherd named Theo. And so we just got to like pet a German Shepherd as we were watching the game. It was great in the stands, just hanging out with a big dog, talking with the player's husband. It was fantastic.
That does sound fun.
Great time. Super chill.
I got a question.
Sorry, Mike.
So 8 penalties.
Yeah.
Is the officiating better than the NHL?
Much better.
Much better. Okay, interesting.
Much better. So the one call that was kind of weird, and I mean this is so you know how body checking is a penalty in women's hockey.
Unless you like kind of do it just right, where it's like not quite a hit, and
big
then they
collisions. Big collisions are called.
So someone on Connecticut, a puck squirted free, and they went to reach for it, and someone on Toronto kind of like leaned to like get body position and just kind of ran over the Connecticut player, but it wasn't like intentional.
Oh, no.
But ref's hand goes up, right? They have to call that. They have to call that. And the Toronto player was like giving it to the ref, like, "Oh, come on!" But like, it's like, well,
that's the same as a trip.
Yes, and that's the thing, right? What makes them better? Maybe you'll disagree with the call, but it's consistent. If Connecticut did that,
I would take
the same
that.
thing would be
honestly, I'd take that.
Yes.
Yep.
So
same.
Very consistent.
It's kind of funny. Back in the fall when I like started covering the women's hockey team at Plattsburgh again, there was a play where I was like, "Shit, that was a nice hit," and then they were like, I'm like, "Oh yeah," because I hadn't covered women's hockey in forever. I'm like, "Damn, I mean that was a really nice hit though." But a little Plattsburgh connection. I don't know where she's at now, but I know at some point Kayla Menigan, who is a Plattsburgh standout, played for the Connecticut Whale for a little while.
Yes, she did. She did. And so did Brooke Waleka, the goalie.
Yes, yeah, yep.
Yes, and she got traded. I don't know to what team. But fantastastic game. Absolutely fantastic game.
Well, that's one of them.
That's one.
Real quick, before I move on from that, though, I want to shout out the defenseman. I want to get her name on here.
Name right.
And do you guys know Colton Orr, the NHL player?
Yeah.
Familiar, yeah.
he's the coach of the Connecticut Well. So I saw him. He just was walking by.
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. It's Colton Orr.
Yeah, he was
Cool,
a
it's cool.
big
Yeah.
big time face puncher for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, he was. He's a big guy. I was like, feel like he might be a little bit physical, or was physical.
Yes, a smidge.
It's Shannon Turner, by the way, the defenseman. Shannon Turner, shout out, you
All
were
right.
incredible.
Shout out.
And good luck. Good luck in the playoffs, Connecticut. Well, you know what? This podcast isn't gonna pick a favorite PHF team, but I'm cheering for the Connecticut.
Well, when the Montreal one ends up happening,
that's your okay. That makes sense.
Whenever. Well, I don't think Tampa will get one, but
it's been announced that Montreal is supposed to get one. I think.
I'm not surprised there.
But yeah.
All major Canadian cities will probably be first. I would assume.
I mean, it helps. There's always like a baked-in audience for hockey there. Like,
if Tampa gets a team,
I can see. I mean, hockey's made enough of a presence. I wouldn't shock me. And I mean, well, like you said, they're already doing their playoff tournament down there. So hopefully, maybe that's like might be sort of a testing grounds of like, okay, what kind of interest can we get down here? Who knows?
Let's do it.
Although that adds a lot of travel for a smaller league.
It does.
So I don't know, but hopefully, maybe one day.
For now, it's Buffalo Buttes.
Buffalo Buttes, the Buttes, yeah, heck yeah.
Their jerseys are legit.
So all of the PHF jerseys are
they're pretty solid.
I was that close to ordering one. These are kind of nice.
Yeah.
My go-to would probably be if I mean she's with the PWHPA right now, which is why it's not. But like if there was ever a moment where Marie-Philippe Poulin was in the I almost said MWHL, the PHF again, or at some point, that would definitely be the jersey I would grab.
Yeah. So cool. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I would definitely go again. So
I'd like to see one.
Yes. Oh yeah. We should all try to see one day. That'd be a lot of fun.
Do a little vlog.
Where do the Riveters play?
That's a great question, and that's exactly what I was just thinking. Because the Metropolitan Riveters, they're technically like the New York team.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, I think they moved out of New York and then changed their name from New York to Metropolitan because it was too expensive. Let me see.
Yes, and I thought they were still relatively close. I could be wrong. So
who knows? We could always go out to Buffalo.
New Jersey.
Oh, that's not far at all.
So just where we drove to go to Topgolf, basically.
Yep.
That's not bad at all.
No.
When the day that we went,
yeah.
Oh, that's in hindsight.
Yeah. So quick sidebar here. If you guys want, you can go check out our vlog. It's long. We took a trip down to Long Island to see Eric, and we went to Topgolf on our last full day, and we went out to New Jersey. Took us like an hour and a half was it to get there?
Yeah,
a bit of a ride, and then a real bad bladder issue on the way back.
Yeah, oh man, I thought I was gonna. I didn't get any video. No, that's fine. It was my own fault. I thought I didn't get any video because I was concentrating on keeping the urine in my bladder. But we get back and we realized that day, the day that we drove out to New Jersey, was when the Long Island
Topgolf location was opening.
So we could have driven
next
probably
time,
like
maybe.
30 minutes instead of
Eric's grad party weekend.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But second game.
All right, game number 2. This was great. So my friend Rena, again, Rena has all the hockey connects. Shout out Rena. She offered me some Detroit tickets for a Thursday night game at UBS, New York Islanders, Detroit Red Wings. And Caroline has never seen an NHL game. Caroline has seen hockey before, but it was Binghamton, like college hockey or something.
Yeah.
And she remembers it being really weird. Like she's like it was like one of those like all the townies are in the rink and she doesn't understand the game of hockey and is like, what's going on here? There's classic rock music playing, you know. It's like, oh, okay. So what you guys grew up on. But
townies.
Yeah, townies. So I got the chance to take Caroline to her first Islanders game. and it did not disappoint. It was fantastic. We got there kind of early-ish, so we kind of walked around a little bit, and we went to the ice for warm-ups, and that was
Ooh,
really
nice.
cool because just, I guess, I mean, Caroline will tell you guys more about it, but I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she was telling me basically, like, we watch these guys on TV, and then when you finally see them, like,
Yeah.
in person, it's like, oh my god, they're right there. Like,
They're real.
it sounds so silly, but yeah.
Even I had a
they're
bit
right.
of a moment like that because
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to sound ungrateful probably, but like I've been to a lot of fucking Habs games.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
at a certain point it was like, okay, yeah, it's another, but then
Yeah.
it really came back this time
Mhm.
around
Well,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been 2 years.
And
But
that and the roster is turning over. Like,
Yeah.
you saw so many games with the
Yeah.
same faces,
Yeah.
and this is totally new.
Yeah,
But,
is this because
but Caroline's reaction.
yeah.
yeah, sorry, Mike, what were you gonna say?
I was because this is the first time you've seen like Suzuki, right?
I saw a bit of him because he started in 1920, so I saw the
Oh,
games
okay.
at the start of that season. But like it was still like early days him, so he wasn't like, I mean, he was showing flashes, but like he wasn't
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he is
yeah.
now.
Okay,
Yeah.
And seeing Caulfield on the
Yep.
ice, and even seeing
Yeah.
Anderson, like a lot of guys.
That's true.
But Caroline's
Yeah,
reaction.
yeah, no. So Caroline, like when Chara, dude, guys,
Oh.
this is my first time seeing Chara in person. He just in warmth, he just stands at center ice, and you're like, you're huge, man. You're huge. so Caroline was like, oh my god, like
He's a large
seeing
fella.
Chara. Yeah,
It's a big bastard.
very large. And another cool thing, this was Thomas Greiss. This was his first return to the island since being an Islander.
All right.
Because COVID messed everything up. And right when warm-up started, the first thing, the goalies always go to the center line and they kind of do their thing, right? And Greiss and Varlamov skated over to each other and they kind of like fist bumped and they were chatting for a bit. So that was really cool to see too, because they're best buddies.
Yeah.
And obviously Barzal in warm-ups. I've never seen Barzal skate up close in person, and seeing him skate in warm-ups is absolutely unreal. He's just like, the classic move of he just goes really fast and then just like punch turns the other way. He just stops. When he does that in warm-ups, it's just ridiculous. Just watching how quick he just hits the brakes and then goes the other way. So Caroline really loved that because obviously she skates. So all the, seeing how well these guys skate, doing all the fundamental stuff that, we try to do as well. It's really cool. And then best part about the game. So as we're sitting down, puck drops and we're just chatting, and the Islanders score 9 seconds into the game. 9 seconds. It was the fifth fastest goal. It was the fifth fastest goal in Islanders history.
Wow.
I'm like, this is a great first hockey game for you to go to. Okay.
How was
Wasn't expecting that.
How was there 4 faster than that?
The
9
4 Stanley
seconds?
Cup winning teams. The 4 Stanley
Is
Cup
that what it
winning
was?
teams. That's how. Yeah.
God dang.
Yeah. It's like
That's impressive.
Johnsonelli.
Faster than 9
So
seconds.
did you do like
geez.
7, 6, 5, and 3, or like what? No, 3's not.
This is what you do. This is what you do. It's the 80. So you cross-check the guy's hands off the face-off and break both his wrists. You pass it up to your wing, and then he takes a shot, and the goalie is terrible.
So and the goalie just kind of flails his leg to try to stop it, and then misses.
It's the 1980s. So what terrible expansion team were the Stanley Cup Islanders play? Whatever that team was, they just trounce them probably. No, but in all seriousness, I do want to talk to you guys about this one play from that game. This is because we're getting into some ref talk here. So they score 9 seconds in. How? Detroit wins the faceoff. Anders Lee is on this defenseman. I think Hronek. What's that guy on Detroit?
Yeah, Hronek.
That's a Detroit guy. Yeah.
Hronek.
Sure. Yeah, with the H. Yeah. So Anders Lee, like with one hand, shoves him, and he kind of loses his footing. That's fine. And he loses the puck and goes to reach for it with one hand on his stick. And Anders Lee comes down on the stick, sends it flying out of his hand. Now, he's already lost his balance and he's kind of flailing for the puck, right? Mm-hmm. Lee whacks the stick out of his hand. It goes flying. And I'm like, oh, they're going to call a slash. They don't call anything. And Lee centers the puck to Beauvillier, who's wide open, and scores. And I was thinking, I'm like, I feel like if that was another instance, that would have been a slash. But... and yes, I'm biased because I'm an Islander fan. I kind of see why the refs didn't call that a slash, because the guy's losing his balance. He has one hand on the stick and he's flailing, and Anders Lee is really strong and coming down on the guy's stick to win the puck.
a lot of
I mean, to a
the
degree, because like stick checks are just a thing that like where a guy brings a
Yes,
stick down, but
exactly.
like also, I don't know.
a
I
lot
don't
of
Right.
know.
a lot of the when it comes to that, I think a lot of the answer lies within the question of did it affect puck possession. So if the guy had the puck and he chopped the stick down and he dropped the stick, I think they call that. But I'm assuming he didn't have the puck
Yes.
on a stick.
So
That is, I mean, it's not
he
consistent, but that is
Well, no,
one
yes.
nothing's
general
fucking
rule.
consistent.
Yeah,
That is one
right,
general
exactly.
rule
That's the thing.
for NHL calls. Yeah.
So they both were going for the puck, and that's exactly what Anderson did. He's like, "Okay,
Okay.
you're going for the puck with your stick. I'm going to stop you from doing that." And he just kind of came down, like he didn't, choke up and whack. He just kind of came down like this, and the stick went flying. So it was
Interesting.
kind of interesting. Yeah, but I thought of you guys immediately when that happened. I was like, I wonder what they would say about this.
I mean, if
The
it
real
happened to one of
question
the Lightning
is,
players, I'd be like, "What the fucking call it?"
was that
Yeah.
how was that the first game of the new rink? Or knew you'd been to a game there, right, Eric? Or
Yes, I
had
went
you?
with my dad to the Sens game.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I know if did they win that one?
Yes, 3-0.
Okay, but I know like things weren't great since the start of the season. But the Islanders have been coming on a little more. What's the atmosphere like compared to Nassau? Or I mean, even did you go to any games at the ones in Brooklyn? I know that was a little rougher.
Yeah,
but
that was the atmosphere there was still fine. The arena, it was just I feel like I didn't enjoy my time there as much just
in
because of the
Brooklyn, you
arena,
mean?
if I'm being honest. Yeah, in Brooklyn. The atmosphere was incredible though, and I will tie this in to finish up this game story. The Islanders were absolutely buzzing. They were winning the game 4-0 at one point,
Right,
and then Detroit scored like
yeah.
2 weird late goals. But Brock Nelson scored 2 goals. This man has had a hell of a season. Ben,
the
he just
hell,
hears
yeah.
you. He hears you saying,
Every time I
Brock
talk
Nelson,
shit.
and he's like, all right.
Dude, he got one
Yeah.
on the bolts today. God damn it!
That was his 31st goal this season.
I know. I was like,
What the
"Jeez,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got more
man.
he's got more than anybody on the Lightning."
All right, in the comments, guys, if Brock Nelson scores 40, Ben should get a Nelson jersey, right?
I mean, I think I have to.
Nelson,
I think you should.
you make it a jersey though. Nelson
Yeah,
jersey, because
yeah,
you don't,
a
dude,
jersey.
you don't want
You
Ben's curse to come over
Yeah,
to
that's true.
the
That's true.
Islanders.
Maybe I will buy the jersey.
No. But so the Islanders were absolutely buzzing. The atmosphere was fantastic. We're 4 rows from the top. I think I sent you guys that video. 4 rows from the top is still an
I didn't
amazing
even look
view.
that bad then.
Oh,
What the
yeah,
fuck?
no, it's fantastic. So it was a great time. It's weird because the games aren't like sold out.
Right.
It's very patchy because it's also a Thursday night game.
It was kind of like that at the Bell Center too.
Yeah, because of people's, whatever people have going on.
Yeah.
Also a lackluster season, yada yada.
Yeah.
But so much fun, and Caroline had a blast. She didn't understand the yes chant, but by the end of the game, then she was catching on to it, which was funny. Because again, right? It's like, oh, I take this for granted, but it's like I know what this is because I watch every game.
Yeah.
I came back to the Bell Center and all of the songs they played and the chants were still the same. Let's go. Like, it all came back.
I saw they brought back is it Fix You?
Yep, Fix You.
Fix You
They
remix.
got rid of that for a few games at the beginning of the year, and like literally all of Habs Twitter was just like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then
I don't know
apparently,
why would you change that?
It's not confirmed, but like I think it's all but confirmed that it was Joel Edmondson who went and was like went to the team and was like, "Hey, no, bring it back," because it's like it's not even the main bit of the song. It's just the do 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 do, and it's so it's like oh, let's go. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Just a riff, dude.
Do they still have the like the All of the Lights remix hype up video at the beginning?
I think they did. I can't remember the song. They do a different song and video every year. But I can't remember what it's in my head
because that was sick.
But Eric, how was the night? Just overall.
Yeah, no, the night was fantastic. So I just want to say this: Matt Barzal was matched up with Mark Stahl for a majority of the night, and you know how that goes. That's just
Mark Stahl got dangled, right?
Matt Barzal set up Oliver Wahlstrom for a goal. He just chipped the puck around Stahl, and I think they tracked his speed. He was going 23 miles per hour.
Jesus.
And
God,
all he
fucking
does is
fast.
this. He goes around, and he's on the left side. He's a righty. He's driving that with his backhand. He just stops 3 Red Wings, try to stop and stay with him, and then he just drop passes it to Wallstrom, who just goes, "Thanks." He's wide open in the slot, so like he's not going to miss. Incredible. So yeah, it was just great. Watching Tyler Bertuzzi play in person was really cool too, and Jacob Vrana, very very good.
Tyler
Very, very
Bertuzzi's a
good players.
fucking rat bastard in the best way.
He's good.
In the best way. Grice got
Marchand light.
pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Grice got pulled so there was this weird play. Of course, they had a tribute video for Grice. It was really awesome. That was another thing that was great. I didn't expect so many people to be standing for that because I know Thomas Grice is. Everyone loves him, but he's kind of more of a low-key player. Yeah, he was just a goalie. Yeah. Yeah, and that was really cool. So they had a really nice tribute video, and Grice was he kind of skated close to center ice, and he was like, putting his glove up. He was waving everyone. So that was really cool.
Nice.
5 minutes later, Oliver Wahlstrom is cutting in front of the net and just kind of runs him over. But Grice likes to play far out. I know that because I've watched him, and it wasn't like bad within the teams. They get in each other's faces.
Yeah,
that was it.
No one.
It was it wasn't like no one was throwing punch. Like it was an accident. It wasn't anything crazy. But they
It's
did.
just
and they did
legally required to have a scrum after a goalie gets it.
They called
Pretty
a
much.
penalty on Wallstrom too, which they should have called the penalty. Even though Grice was far out, you got to call a penalty on that. So I agreed with that call. But Grice, after that, he played the rest of the period. He didn't start the next period, and they put Ned in.
Is he hurt? You think?
Don't know. And that I do not follow Detroit. I did not follow up on that. So
They might have pulled him for like concussion or something.
yeah, something like that. And I mean, also he did let in. The Islanders were outshot that game. He did let in 3 goals on maybe 12 shots, 15 shots. So,
Well, if he had a concussion,
yeah.
might have been easy to let those in.
At that point, it was 3-0.
Oh, when he got hit.
Yeah, when he got
okay. I thought it was
2-0. It was 2 or 3-0.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was absolutely fantastic. Classic Islanders hockey. They get outshot, but they capitalize on the chances. Detroit has a bright future, though. They have some really good skaters. They were peppering Sorokin for certain time periods of the game. Fantastic night, guys. I can't complain. I'm 2-0 at UBS, so that's pretty good.
That's true.
Actually,
That's
yeah.
true.
I mean,
That's
with
pretty
how
good.
most of the season's gone, you've gotten the good bits out of those games.
Yes. And Caroline absolutely loves it, so she would definitely like to see more hockey games.
Hey, well, there you go.
Nice. I have one last question to wrap it up. Did you get any? Did you get any snacks at the game? Anything tasty?
No, just 2 $18 beers. That's it.
18.
Oh, it's not even that bad at the Bell Center.
Jesus.
It was the most expensive one at the Bell Center is 16 Canadian. Jesus.
Okay, so I will be upfront with you guys. They were Stella's. That's an import.
Oh, that's fancy.
So it was fancy. That's why it's fine. You can get a beer. Beers are normally $14 if you want like PBR.
Wait, how many?
No,
ounces?
not a PBR. A tall boy. No, it's a tall boy. It's like a huge can.
Because there's the 28-ounce beer at the Bell Center is $16, which I actually think isn't that bad.
That's good.
For stadium beer, that's actually pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah.
16 Canadian.
So,
yeah.
No snacks though. Snacks were expensive, and we just ended up getting some snacks afterwards.
Hey, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but the 2 beers were good.
No stadium wiener.
No stadium wiener. The food there is really bougie. When you guys will be coming to a game with me one day, and the food is crazy. It's like brisket sandwiches, pulled pork sandwiches.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. Until it's like, oh, this sandwich is $35. Okay,
I'm ready to spend $50.
Do they also have like the usual stuff? Or
yes, they do. They have burgers. They have ice cream, hot dogs.
It's kind of the same way.
Popcorn.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way at the Bell Center, where like they have a few specialty places peppered around, but like you got which weirdly enough, that might have been the first game in the Bell Center in a very long time I didn't get a hot dog.
Yeah, that's weird, man. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Well, we ate right before, and then
I know I'm joking.
You couldn't fit another wiener in?
And then we had Greek food after when we got home.
True.
Oh dear.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. I am envious of both of you. I sat around this weekend. That's what I did. Actually,
You
no,
rested up.
we did a double feature at a friend's house. We did Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. So
Ooh,
it
how
was
are
interesting.
they? Because I've heard mixed things on them. I've heard they're not all that great, but there's some fun parts.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
right there.
basically. Yeah.
They're not
That's it.
incredible. There's some fun parts. There's some funny stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Plot is interesting, but yeah.
Well, there you go.
But listen, last week we obviously had our show right before the trade deadline, the day before. And then on the trade deadline there were a few missing deals. So we're going to go over a few of the bigger ones that we missed in 1 second. Before we get to those, I just want to remind everybody who's watching, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share it with a friend or family member. Just get the word out. We're making some good content over here, as you can tell.
Oh yeah.
Ben just dropped his
Oh, yeah.
his headphone.
I did. We love those fucking calls to action, though. Good shit.
But yeah, so probably the biggest deal that was missed was Flurry finally getting dealt, which I forget who. I think one of us three.
Yes, it was me.
Was it you? Well,
Did I say Minnesota? I said Minnesota or Colorado. I thought I got.
I don't
might have got
remember.
it right with
I meant
Minnesota.
on the podcast. One of me, Ben, or
Oh.
Nick. One of us, I thought, said something about Flurry. It might have been Nick, but
It wasn't me
it was
because
not
I
me.
mostly talked about Jake Allen, and then I'm fucking glad he's still here because
Yes. I think Nick said something, but so Eric, you called this? Did you call it in the
No,
messages?
you know what? No. One of the podcasts I was telling you guys about. I was sitting on my couch watching the NHL Network analysis, and someone said Giroux to Boston, and then Fleury to. I didn't call it. I remember now. It was Colorado. So I was like, guys, what if Fleury goes to Colorado? And he went very close to Colorado, but not Colorado. He went to Minnesota, which makes sense because he wants to do something in the playoffs, and
they're a
then
team that'll be in it at least.
but he's also still close to his family because Chicago.
Yes,
Minnesota,
they're
it's
not very.
too bad.
It's not that far away.
So
what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the move?
I'm happy for Fleury. He at least gets to play some meaningful hockey again, which I think he got an OT win last night.
yeah,
I don't know. I didn't see.
I might be wrong
he did.
on that one.
Minnesota won an OT.
Nice.
3-2, 4-3. 1 goal. Yeah.
3-2, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I don't remember what the return was. I don't think it was anything that crazy.
No, I think it was like second
for Minnesota. It makes sense because they wanted to bolster their, because I think Kakkonen wasn't doing, or Kakkonen. I don't know.
Kakkonen was traded to the Sharks.
He got traded to the Sharks.
I did see that. Yep.
I don't think they were like too content with like their pairing of him and Talbot, and which was kind of funny because in the first game they get Fleury and they had Talbot play anyway, and I think he like fucking went off. But it's never a bad idea to get a like reigning Vezina winner goalie for barely anything. So like, yeah, why not?
All I'll say is this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say this is their year. They gotta do something this year because next year it's unfortunate.
Yep, with
their cap situation.
It's gonna get real bad real fast. Yep. So they do kind of have to just do the thing.
I will say,
might as well.
If Marc-Andre Fleury heats up in the playoffs, Minnesota becomes a much more dangerous team. So
yes,
that is something to keep an eye on. They are very much in the conversation for dark horse conference final, maybe cup winning. Who knows?
I'd say they got a chance for sure.
Okay, so here's the details. I was trying to find it. It's a second round pick that becomes a first if the Wild reach the Western Conference final.
Oh wow.
Okay,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think it's a good deal I think that's a pretty good deal for Minnesota.
Yeah.
And obviously we won't find out until see how the playoffs go, but sure.
And then on Chicago's end, like it's an expiring deal, and I don't think Fleury was going to stay there. So for you get a free either second or first round pick.
Pretty much. Yep.
So
It's not like you guys were going to the playoffs. Oh,
yeah, no.
you suck. Okay. And then this one was like surprising. Raquel to Pittsburgh.
Didn't they kind of like give up a fucking lot for him too?
I don't
If I remember
remember,
correctly.
but all I know is it seems odd to deal a player like that as your team is up and coming. Seems like that would be one you'd want to hold on to, but I might be wrong.
I mean, wait, let me.
I might
let me
also
bring
be
up that one.
confused about his age because I thought he was younger, like 23, 24.
He's been around for a bit now.
He's been around.
Yeah,
Is he?
he's been around for a bit.
Frickin' A.
So they sent a second rounder, somebody named Callie Klang. A guy I recognize these other two names. I remember the Dominic Simon, I think.
Simon.
Is he French?
And Zach Aston Reese. Zach Aston Reese is probably the most recognizable name there.
I know that guy.
That's a haul. Yeah. Oof.
I feel like that's a lot for Ricardo Kell. I don't really know.
Yeah, it
Who
kind
is 28 years old, Mike?
Son of a Jesus! Why did I think he was young? Did he come into the league late?
Now I recognize the name for a long. I don't know. That's been a name.
I mean, I don't pay attention to Anaheim.
I have the answer for you. He cracked the opening night roster for the 2012-2013 Anaheim Ducks. Yep.
Yeah. So I just don't pay attention. That's that's what happens. Jesus.
Yeah. That was I think the Ducks won that in like long term. Obviously, Pittsburgh could use a player like Raquel in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I just feel like that's an expensive price.
I feel like it's very expensive.
Especially for a team that's been kind of especially for a team that's been kind of wrecking.
Although I think they kind of are coming from everything I've heard. I think Friedman was saying it on 32 Thoughts too. It was like Pittsburgh kind of realizes that they got maybe 1 or 2 more years of like really being able to go for it, because Crosby and Malkin are still amazing, but like time happens.
That's if Malkin stays healthy and Crosby stays healthy.
That's what. Yeah. So it's like the Father Time is undefeated. So they gotta. I think they're kind of viewing it as, I mean, we might as well fucking do it while we still have these two guys, because it's not gonna get like. I mean, obviously at some point it's gonna have to get bad and they're gonna have to strip it down or whatever. But like, yeah, you can't really strip it down when you have Sidney Crosby still, and he's still as effective as he is. Like,
it's the same
I don't blame him.
It's the same as Boston with Bergeron.
Marchand, really, yeah.
Yep. What do you guys think about the deal? Obviously, a little bit of an overpay, maybe, but do you think it works out?
I mean, I have a hard. I mean, yeah, they lost the Islanders last year, but I think it was very clearly Tristan Jarry.
Agreed.
I have a hard time counting out the Pittsburgh Penguins just because they always seem to, like, they've had a couple bad-ish years in the playoffs, but like they come back. I don't know.
It's hard to count.
I think it could be something.
Yeah. Should they have gone after Fleury? Bring Fleury back.
That would have been fun.
That would have been really cool.
Honestly, don't know that much about their goalie situation right now. I don't think they're in that bad a spot.
Jarry and DeSmith,
out.
I believe, is their second guy.
Yes.
I don't know how their seasons are going right now.
Well, I don't think DeSmith is that great.
All I know is Jarry's having a great season.
Is he? Okay.
Yes.
You would know better than I, because you're a Metro guy. So
all I know is I've seen DeSmith in some Steve's Dangits. So
DeSmith,
not a great sign.
Yeah, in multiple episodes as well. So
yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this Dodonov trade. What a fucking shit show.
Okay, I've tried to figure this out. I don't know what's happening.
What it sounds like, Ben, do you know?
I know the broad strokes. I will
broad stroke me.
Please, me too. I get a twofer.
So my general understanding is, all right, Vegas is like, yep, we're gonna make this trade. Dadonov to the Ducks for whatever. I don't remember what the return was. The whole story's Dadonov anyway. So they said, and the NHL approves it to go through. And the story of what we heard is either like the no trade didn't get forwarded along by Ottawa, or Vegas didn't think that came along from the trade with Ottawa, or it's still kind of unclear. But from the beginning, Dadonov and his agent insisted that the no trade list was filed on time, because apparently it's a thing, like there's certain dates throughout a year that you have to file it, and they alleged that it was. This was meanwhile after the NHL Central Registry had already approved the trade to go through, which they're not supposed to do. If they know that, like, they would also know these things, and if,
you would think,
like, it just seems like a really big mess up. But then all this goes down. He's like, no, the Ducks are on my no trade. It's not gonna happen. And then I think it was like we wait a couple days, and then we come to find out the NHL has invalidated the trade. Not a whole lot else has come out. I know I've seen a few reporters tweet out things like, it's the insiders say believed to be it might have been Ottawa at fault, but like it's been nothing's been, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that's like solid. It just all looks real dumb and real bad. Like, how do you let, like,
I don't know how that happens? Yeah. Because you put it, you put everything in writing. It would be in the contract. Like you would amend the contract after the fact.
I found out, I think it was on the 32 Thoughts podcast, or it was somebody's podcast I was listening to. The no trade deals are not a part of contracts. They're not a part of the player contracts. They're just viewed as an agreement between like the player agent and the player and
like
the general manager.
Like a spoken agreement.
It's got to be written. It's got to be written.
Sure, but it's not a part of the contract, I guess, that goes to the Central Registry. So for some reason, it's just a thing that is just like kept track of between the GM and the agent.
And that's a good idea.
Players like I think it was Elliot Friedman saying it, like players like to not have it be public because then it's just bringing on a lot of ire from a lot of fan bases and whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Everything about this situation makes me like, maybe you need to have this, like there needs to be some database for this, whether it's public or not. I mean, I think it'd be cool if it was public, but I understand why there's reasons why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But like the NHL just needs to have it, like they need to have all the copies in right. Like how is that not a thing?
Yeah.
How is that not a thing?
I don't know. That feels like they should have a filing cabinet with that kind of stuff in
or
it.
digital filing cabinet of some sort. Or like it was just rough. Like everything about it was, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think it was that big a story, but like I guess it is a big story that a league can mess it up that badly. Like it was rough.
Yep.
Yikes.
So all the cap space that Vegas sorely needed is no longer there.
I don't really know what the fuck they're gonna do. They honestly might miss the playoffs at this point.
Well, did you see what happened? It was Riley Smith on LTIR, and everyone's like, "Come on!"
Did he get?
Come on!
I thought he was
on
already
LTIR.
on.
Yeah, but they gotta win. Like
that's the problem. Like they would like to be bringing some of these guys back right now. Because they need to win some games.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Dear.
Maybe Marky Stone is about to come back.
Yeah. I think they would have to do something in that case. Like I think they have to get money out before anybody comes back. Just because they brought Jack, they were already like close to the cap, and then they're just like, Jack Eichel. Yeah.
Yes.
$10 million cap hit.
I'm interested in Jack Eichel.
So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see where the Vegas situation lands. I don't really know, but.
Dude, you wait. If they make it into the playoffs, they're gonna. You thought fucking Tampa's $18 million over was bad? Oh dear.
Dude, Tampa set the stage for some zingers.
Yes.
Sure.
It does seem like there's a lot more of that going around this year, where they're like, "All right, if we're doing this, we're doing this." Like
they decided.
Is that all we have to say on the Dadonov trade?
That's all I gotta say. It's odd.
So, it just seems real dumb.
You know how we were just
preventable.
You know how we were just talking about Pittsburgh? They just won 11-2 tonight.
Oh,
what
against Detroit? And I know it's Detroit, but Raquel with 3 points. So we were just talking about who won that trade.
11-2?
Pittsburgh is on a run offensively, I guess. So
11
Raquel will
Holy
definitely help them
damn.
in the playoffs.
Who was in
Literally,
net?
if their goaltending holds
Probably
up,
all their
Pittsburgh's
goalies.
goaltending holds up, and they can offensively do that, they are dangerous in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Not good
that's gonna be interesting.
for all those Eastern teams. Yeah, Mike, you better keep an eye out for them, buddy.
I got
with your Lightning.
Lightning got to watch out for all other teams in the
Also
Atlantic
true.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Atlantic is fucking
It-
nuts
E-
at the
Every
moment.
team apart from Florida. So that second and third spot and that last wild card for the Atlantic are all within a point, I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
Unreal.
Like the Lightning were in second and then they lost 2 in a row, dropped down into the wild card, and then they won 2 in a row and are right back up in second. It's like
Unreal.
Jesus. Man.
I know their loss last night put Toronto into a wild
The
card.
Leafs are back in the wild card now. Yep.
Yeah. Which was funny.
Unbelievable.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts out there. But that's the thing with the Atlantic. Is all those 4 teams are in. And the same with the Metro. Is those top 4 teams in the Metro are in.
Yes.
And now it's pretty much just jostling for seeding unless somebody really falls off.
Before we move on from trade deadline, I would be remiss if I didn't say the Habs had a pretty decent one.
All right.
Pretty good. Sending out Brett Kulak for a second rounder and a William Lagesson. I texted this to I think some group, but literally the 2 guys I was like, I wouldn't hate it if they kept them. Immediately got traded the next day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. When I heard Kulak left, I was like, oh, yeah. Benny must be like, fuck.
I'm mad, but like also, if you can get a second rounder and a body for an expiring deal, Brett Kulak, it's not bad. That's pretty fucking good.
Second round. Yeah.
William Lagesson, from what I saw last night, especially isn't, but like he's fine. He's a guy. They have 20 games left. They needed some guys to kind of get it through it. Does that make sense? And a second rounder, and then I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if Brett Kulak might be a guy they might circle back around to in the summer. The one that hurt more was Arturi Lehkonen, because he's an RFA, so it's a little harder to get back. I think he was a guy that would want to come back, but that's a little bit of a situation. But for him, they got a second round pick and Justin Barron, who is a decent defensive prospect from Colorado, from everything I've read. So also pretty fucking good. And that's after already kind of knocking it out of the park with the Toffoli and Sherratt trades. Kent Hughes is all right in my books.
He's doing pretty good, yeah.
So far, anyway. They're doing the easy parts right now, though. The dealing stuff out to get. I mean, they did well in their trades, but like dealing shit out is always easier than actually building it up for to competitiveness. So yet to be seen, but I am quite pleased at the moment.
Is Kulak a righty?
Yeah, I think so.
If Ben Sherratt gets more than 5 goals in the playoffs, I expect Ben to get a reverse retro Florida jersey with Sherratt's name on it.
He's going to be too busy cross-checking people.
Cross-checking the crap.
Listen, he's going to be cross-checking the puck into the net.
Into the net. Can you imagine
that? He tried that
on the ice. Come on.
I give him a lot of grief, but like he actually got a weirdly good scoring streak this season. I mean, just because probably because he was being leaned so heavily on, like he was just getting so many minutes and so much offensive time that it's bound to. But
eventually,
like
one's gonna go in.
Even toward the end, before he got traded, he had a pretty good like 5-game stretch where he was like just scoring and like assisting like a lot. Weirdly, I don't know. Good on him. I hope he does okay.
Mike,
I'm definitely bandwagoning Colorado though for Arturi, but Eric.
No, Mike was before. He's asking if Kulak's a righty. Is he insinuating something?
I don't know.
Do you want Brett Kulak to come to the Tampa Bay Lightning?
No insinuation. We could use some right-handed D.
Okay.
He's a really steady guy too. Like he's not at flat. Every once in a while he pulls out a flashy offensive play, but he's mostly just kind of steady, good puck mover, good starting the transition.
All right.
That's his role.
We'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see. We have a habit of taking Canadians players.
Yeah, if you could not keep doing that, that'd be cool.
Maybe Kent Hughes is gonna put a blockade up on that. He's like, stop that.
The JBB.
No.
Yeah.
They could have had Corey. They literally just wanted a second year. Anyway.
Wait, who wanted a second year? Oh, Perry wanted a second year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have just given him that second year.
It would have been like $1 million.
That's all it is. It's 1 million times 2. That's all this. Or he might have 2 million. No, he's only
I don't
making
know what
1.
he's at.
He's
Anyway,
only making 1. But all right, I'm gonna zoom through my bolts. Let me tell you, they're
not great.
not doing super well. They in their last 10 games today they played. Today being the last one, they've got 4 wins. So you hear that and you're like, it's not too bad, but it's not been good. 2 of those were in the last 2 games. So they had 2 wins in 8 games before this weekend.
It's not great.
It's pretty bad. I've been watching them and they're like, you can tell. You can tell when you're watching, you're like, these guys they're not organized, they're not playing the right way, they're turning the puck over every goddamn second. But they lost to Carolina 3-2, 1-goal game against a pretty damn good opponent. So it's like, okay.
Really good opponent. Yeah.
Hard to get too mad at that, but
well, you got to think it's Tampa, so I can.
Yeah, but it's not like you guys lost guys after the last 2 years.
We lost guys, but it's more that as I'm watching, I'm seeing them play just not well. They're not playing the way they can play, and that's what it is. They lost
I'll take your not well.
Yeah. They lost to Boston 3-2 as well. Another good opponent, another 1-goal game. But they lost to fucking Pasternak. Pasternak scored all 3 goals.
Yeah, hat trick.
The Boston's still good, man. They're still good. They can totally still win the Stanley Cup just from what they looked like on that game. Then tonight,
What have the trade deadline acquisitions looked like for your boys?
for the Lightning?
Yeah,
Nick Paul and
Hagel.
I was actually getting to that. Actually, where was it? I wrote it down. So the Carolina game, Nick Paul's first game, scored a goal. Scored the first goal of the game. And it was actually it was pretty sick too. It was like a shast from the point. He was going in, he was rushing down like the middle. It was like a shast from the a shot pass.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From the point, and it was like a little tip as he was going by up right into the top right corner of the net. It was pretty sick.
Yeah.
And then the next game in Boston, Hagel got his first goal. This was a sick goal, and it showed me how smart this guy is. It was a god damn it, shorthanded. It was a shorthanded goal, and it was like a 2-on-2 kind of rush that he and Palat had, and I think it was Marchand was the guy in the middle covering Hagel. And you know how most players, it's like the number one rule that you learn when you start getting a little bit older in the sport of hockey is don't skate by the net. Don't glide by the net. You stop in front of the net.
I never really got that into my head.
You still see a lot of NHL players not stopping by the net. This Hagel stops high. He didn't even stop in front, right on the crease. He stopped like high up in the slot. And Marchand just goes right by him, and he's wide open. And Palat hits him with like a perfect pass, just the classic cross crease one-timer,
Nice.
insta goal. But yeah, no, I'm liking what I'm seeing from those guys. Nick Paul is way bigger than I thought he was. That dude looks huge on the ice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man,
he's massive,
dude.
man.
Yeah, I didn't know he's like 6'3" or something.
They're bringing back the bruising third line.
They are. It's those two, and I think they are sticking them with Ross Colton. But dude, that's the other thing. Cooper, the last 3 weeks, he's been just flipping shit around and just trying stuff. Which this is the time.
Out. Yeah.
This is the time you want to do it, but I think that's also contributing to their poor play.
Sure.
But that being said, they did win their back-to-back games this weekend. Yesterday versus Detroit, but they won it in OT and they barely squeaked it out. But whatever, they did it. And then today they played pretty well against the Isles, against Eric's Isles. Took him down.
They did. That's a big game for Tampa too, because the Isles are kind of on a streak right now. I know they kind of just got dismantled by the Bruins yesterday, 6-3, but they're still one of the hotter teams in the NHL. Yes. So that's a good one.
And let me tell you, that Isles Lightning rivalry, That's still there.
Yeah, I
They
like
were
that.
they
Yeah,
were
it's
nasty.
exciting.
They were
Yeah.
nasty to each other.
Yeah. But like that's the thing, right? And that proves, I think, for you as a Lightning fan, they're going to be nasty. The Isles are going to come out at home, and Tampa
Yeah.
can beat them 4-1. That's good. Like, yeah, Tampa should be able to do that. They should be able to handle those nasty games. You know, that's
Yeah.
going to be all playoffs.
That
So.
shot though, did you watch the game or see the highlights or anything?
I was at work. I couldn't
Yep.
because it was an afternoon game. Yeah.
Yep. Nelson's goal. Ooh, dear.
My dad said it was really nice.
That was a rip, right over Vassy.
That beating Vassy clean. Yeah, that's
it was
hard.
it was a nice goal.
That's not nothing.
Although it was a 3-on-1. Lightning have they've really enjoyed giving up those odd man rushes.
Who was the defenseman back?
Oh,
it's never a good spot to be in.
man, I can't even remember. I want to say it was Chernak, but I have no idea.
You're too busy yelling at the TV. What are you guys doing?
Like, why is it 3-on-1?
Why am I alone back here?
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I got. They maybe hopefully these last 2 games get them back on track. Especially the Isles one today, because I want to say the last 6 games before this one, their average goal scoring was like 1.6 goals a game, which is just not enough to win.
That's not enough for Tampa Bay in
No.
general. It's not. It's never that low.
Yeah, so hopefully they got a good few here, and hopefully that leads to more.
Mike, I have a question for you. Actually, the Detroit game. Did Elliott grab that win in OT?
Oh, dude,
was Elliott in?
Elliott was legit. Elliott played good. Awesome.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. He had the only goal they scored was it was one you'd want him to have, but it was it squirted through and then slowly went into the net. So he nearly had it, but no, he played an awesome game. So.
Nice, that's good. Figured I'd ask you.
Issue solved. Look at this.
For now, you just wait. Don't forget. Don't forget the one game, dude. Remember he had 2 fucking Steve's Dangits in a row.
Listen, he watched Steve Dangits after that though. And he's like, "Dang, I look bad.
He must
I'm not gonna do that anymore."
He was like, "All right, I can't do this again. Gotta stay off this show.
Focus up." Yeah.
Nice.
Well, let's go over to the Isles. How the Isles been doing?
I'll keep it brief. So they 2 losses back to back, and the 2 losses were against Boston and Tampa. That's a tough back to back, right? That's rough, a tough back to back. But again, the Islanders of last year might have won both or at least one of those games. Definitely against the Bruins, and Tampa convincingly beats them 4-1. I know they were in it a little bit in the beginning, but Tampa kind of, from what I assume, controlled the game towards the end.
Tampa's good at that.
You guys did score a goal that was called back right at the end of the second that would have tied it, but it was called back for offsides.
Oh, that's that's legit. Yeah, the Bruins kind of just came out, and that Bruins third line right now, Charlie Coyle. Who's there? It's like Charlie Coyle, Brendan Carlo, and Craig Smith. Some stupid. What? Why is that third line good? And it's just good.
And it just is.
Apparently,
yeah.
It just demolished the Islanders yesterday. So all right. But I went to the Detroit game. They won that 5-2, and they beat Ottawa earlier in the week 3-0. Which, I mean, again, they should beat Ottawa. They should beat Detroit.
Yeah.
They're that middle of the pack team. They can beat Ottawa. They can beat Detroit. They can't beat teams that are looking to go on deep playoff runs.
Okay.
And that's the story of the season. That's really all I have to say. Sorokin's injured. Today he got injured.
Yeah, I saw that. He left.
I don't know what he did.
He left after the second. He took a puck to the mask, and it unclipped, and then he shook it off so that the ref would blow the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
But so maybe it was that. Maybe it's another concussion thing, same as Grice. But
Grice just wants to take it easy.
I say same as, but I'm just guessing with that too. But
okay.
I don't know.
And Brock Nelson continues to stay hot. 31 goals. I mean, that's unreal.
Yeah,
good on him. 31 goals on this Islanders team this year. Ooh, man,
that's not bad.
I want to. At the end of the season, if I remember to do this, I want to make a chart, percentage of Islanders goals that were Brock Nelson. Because it's probably going to be pretty high.
Yeah, it'll be like 15% or something. You'll be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a question for you because we didn't get to talk much about trade deadline stuff because you weren't here yet last week. Nothing. They did nothing.
So, uh, you remember how at the beginning of the season we were talking about how nothing could go right for the Islanders,
Yeah.
but you can't give them you can give them slack for some of it, but also you need to point out the obvious issues, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of both. You can say terrible start, yada yada, but you have to rebound if you're a good team. Lou Lamoriello very clearly believes that he wants to give this core and thinks that this core can do it.
Okay.
And so he wants to give them, this is how I see it. He wants to give them a full season, no 13 game road trip to start the year. Hopefully, fingers crossed, no COVID issues, and see if they can do it. And at this point, I'm just like, I mean, like, what I can't, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, they should trade for this person. They should. That's kind of what it seems like.
Are you content
Maybe
with
this
these
summer,
guys though? Like, what do you think the team could use?
a goal scorer, just so obviously, like, or
I mean,
multiple
couldn't
goal
we all?
scorers, please. No, but couldn't we all? But the Islanders' defense every year, I have to see the stats defensively, how good the Islanders are, especially with Barry, like a Barry Trotz system. We just need
Yeah.
someone who is like, hey, Barry Trotz, I know you have a system, but I'm gonna play out of it, and you're not gonna say shit to me because I can put the puck in the net. AKA Alex Ovechkin on the Capitals when Trotz was the coach. What is
Yeah.
Trotz going to say? Ovi, you got to back check harder. No, he's not going to bench him. It's freaking Ovechkin. And I'm not asking for an Ovechkin. That's a generational player, but a goal scorer, multiple goal scorers, something to get the offense going and make it exciting, please. Defensively, I really like Robin Salo. Noah Dobson is coming into his own. I think defensively the Islanders are okay. They had a Ryan Pollock injury for 20-something games.
Yep, I remember
That's
that.
huge. Nothing was going right this season. All right, Lou. Yep. As long he's giving them a shot for one more season. I know he re-signed Cal Clutterbuck, but it was so cheap. Like, I want to be like mad that he didn't do anything, but also it's so cheap. Like, at least he's being upfront with, okay, this is what I think is going to work, and I'll just sign Clutterbuck to a cheap deal, Parisi to a cheap deal. We'll give it one more year. Sure.
Yep.
Sure. I'm not really happy about it. I don't think it's going to go well, but at this point, sure.
What do
You
you
know?
What do you think about him not trying to get something for Chara?
I thought that was interesting, especially because Chara, like, yeah, get that man on a team that could win a cup.
Yeah.
But maybe it's Lou, so you don't hear anything about any rumblings ever.
Very true.
And I don't know if it was Lou being like, I want this for Chara, and teams were like, you're crazy, no way.
Sure.
Or
if it
just didn't want to
wasn't
move
happening.
him. Yeah, it's really, as an Islanders fan, it's very hard when Lou Lamoriello is your GM to talk about trade rumblings. I've learned from these past few weeks. Same thing with Varlamov. I don't know why there had to be some takers on that.
There had to be somebody. Oilers.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't know, man.
Oilers.
Maple Leafs, dude.
Maple Leafs.
Until what's that guy's name? Kallgren or Kallgren?
I think it's Kallgren. Is that how you say it?
Sorry, Kallgren. Yeah, like until that, like there was. Oh my God, Mrazek was flying everywhere. They didn't have
It's a tornado on the ice. Tasmanian devil.
but the Islanders, they've essentially locked themselves into, hey, we're going to be the same Islanders team next season. One more shot.
All right.
Can stuff happen over the summer? Yes. Do I have any clue what it's going to be? No. That's a great question, but that's all I got, guys.
All right. Benny, we go to you.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Well, big news. They just tied it up late with 36 seconds left.
Oh.
It appears they're playing the Devils tonight, which is not great. They are in the position to be down 2-1 to the Devils, but it's back-to-back.
The Devils beat the Rangers 7-5 the other week.
It's hockey, you never know, and it's back-to-back, so I'm not going to go too hard on them. But the Habs, wait, I'm just curious who scored. Rem Pitlick, let's fucking go. The Habs have been doing essentially exactly what I wanted them to do ever since we realized they were going to be bad like the whole year. Since that 5-1 win last Saturday against Ottawa, which was just perfect. They have either won or lost some really close games to some really good teams. They lost 3-2 to Boston in overtime. They lost 4-3 to Florida. And they didn't look particularly in it against Florida, but there was at least pushback. There was fight. They were trying to keep in it, and they only lost 4-3. They lost 4-2 to Toronto last night. Or, sorry, they won 4-2 against Toronto last night, rather, which was awesome. Great. They got outshot 51-18. Not great. But in their defense, they go into it having just lost Jeff Petrie for probably the rest of the season. Gallagher and Drouin are both out. And then within last night's game, in the second period after that, I'm like looking at Twitter while I'm in the bathroom after the second. And from the Canadiens' official Twitter account, both Rem Pitlick and Michael Pezzetta will not return to the game, which Tyler Pitlick, rather. Tyler Pitlick and Michael Pezzetta wouldn't return to the game, which Tyler Pitlick and Michael Pezzetta, but you're still down 2 guys for the rest of the period, like the rest of the game for the third period. So not great. They're the minute we think they can't have any more injury trouble, they find ways to do it. So hopefully that'll stop. But I have nothing to complain about right now. They've been playing some fun hockey even when they lost. They've made a few really decent trades at the deadline. Seem to be going in a good direction. They're going to overtime against the Devils right now. I'm interested to see what'll happen there.
Right.
I'm happy. I don't know. I'm happy.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. Who's on the back of your shirt? I don't think we actually covered that.
I think I said it when we were talking about the game. It's Caulfield, who's fucking going off right now. I don't know what the updated thing is, but he's just the point production has been stupid since St. Louis come in.
Yeah, Marty.
It's great. I don't know.
I just want to say something.
Happy.
Do you know the Twitter account hockey images that precede unfortunate events or something like that?
Yeah, I follow them.
So I remember one of them was before the season. It was hot takes for the season, and Trevor Zegras said Cole Caulfield 40 goals, and then that was one of the pictures. But then Marty St. Louis came in, and now Caulfield is tearing it up. And I am so pissed that we didn't get to watch Caulfield possibly hit 40 goals this year.
I think he totally could have.
Yep, I do too. I think Zegras was right.
I was listening to Game Over.
With Andrew Berkshire.
Yeah, because he had Jesse on last night from SDP, and it was a good episode. Jesse apparently had heard on the broadcast that he's in the time span of like time with St. Louis. He's on a 52 goal pace for a whole season.
Unbelievable.
In the games with St. Louis.
It's so frustrating. I know you must be frustrated.
Yeah,
that's too bad.
I mean, I'm mostly just happy he's showing, like, because I was fucking confused when this season started, because like he was electric in the playoffs, especially against Vegas. He had some moments against Toronto. He was a little slow through Winnipeg, but he at least had a few nice assists. And then he really started to get going against Vegas. But then you come into this season and he just was not there, which comes from Dom Ducharme playing him like 10 minutes a night on the fourth line by the time for a good chunk of that. Like it was, but I'm just glad he's where he's at now. He had 1 goal through 30 games with Ducharme. He now has 14.
Unbelievable.
Pretty bad.
13 goals in 20 games.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, if that's your wrap on the Canadiens,
that's my wrap on the Habs.
It's been a while. I see it says fantasy updates.
Oh God!
Well, we could do a fantasy update.
And I have no idea what the hell is going on with your fantasy teams, guys.
I will fill you in, but first, one small bit of Sens news.
Oh, I actually had a fucking good night last night.
One small bit of Sens news that Nick sent to all of us. They signed Jake Sanderson, which seems interesting.
Oh, yes.
That they are going to burn a year of his contract just like that, his DLC. But I'm sure there's a reason. But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that in there.
Similar, they got Jordan Harris, NCAA guy, another defenseman.
Question.
My understanding is they usually burn it as like a negotiating tactic. Like, we'll get you in here to play some games this year. And,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
What do you got, Eric?
Jake Sanderson. Jake Sanderson is a pretty highly touted defensive prospect.
I believe
Yes.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
actually-
one of their big D prospects for Ottawa.
All right. So I'll fill you in on the fantasy league. The fantasy leaguers were about a month out. April 29th is the end of the season. It actually is ending on the last day of the season this year. So right now, Nick, Danielle's in first. Nick is 243 points back in second, but he's been climbing. He's been having a lot of good nights. Other Nick is in third, but he's way back. He's like 780 points back from first, and then I am about 100 points behind him. Then it's my mom, my dad, then it's Cody, and then it's Benny right in the basement there.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been making like I literally I don't even regularly go and set lineups. Sometimes I do. Every once in a while I set it for a week. I haven't made like roster moves in a while. But I just noticed I had 125 point night last night. What the fuck?
And I am just noticing that you have 31 points on your bench from a Malkin hat trick.
Yeah, that's rough. I didn't set my lineup today.
But Mitch Marner's got 3 assists for you, so booyah.
Yeah, the Leafs are beating up on the Panthers a little bit. That's weird.
They got mad after last night.
Yeah.
Probably.
Interesting. But yeah, so that's the update. I'm pretty sure it's just gonna stay like that. The only I could see maybe
I might jump Cody.
Ben might jump Cody to get into 7th. I might be able to jump into 3rd, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think other Nick's team is too good. But that's all right. And then next year we're gonna go back to the regular snake draft, so I don't get any complaints. It was I shouldn't have done it the way I did it, but I got a plan now. But yeah,
Well, good.
we're coming up.
Nice.
Yeah, boys, we got 1 month to the end of the season. That means we've got
1 month till brackets.
1 month till brackets, and about a month until we look and see how wrong we were.
Oh God,
I'm scared.
I'm
really
excited.
scared.
Eric, I think
mine's-
yours is gonna be all right, because you are the
mine's
one.
terrible.
You're the one person that had Calgary in the playoffs.
Cool. But
I had all of Montreal, Chicago, and Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, yours is gonna be bad. Though. Yeah, yours is bad. I think I might have had Chicago as well, but I didn't have Seattle, and I definitely
Somebody
didn't have
else had
Montreal.
Chicago.
I think it was me. But we'll find that out in we'll probably
That's
do that
rough.
like the episode right before playoffs. So probably
Yes.
right around April 30th or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
around there.
So unless any of you guys has something else to say, we can get her going. If I get her
think I'm
going, I
good.
mean finish it up.
That's it, man.
All right. Well, everybody who watched, thank you very much for watching. Please hit that like button if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you want to see more. Share it with all your sports-loving friends and family. And let us know down in the comments. What should they let us know down in the comments?
Let us know about the most recent hockey game you've been to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
we
if
go,
you've seen a
please.
live game. College,
Yeah.
ladies, men's, NHL, PHF, the other one, PWHPA, any of those. Let us know, because, live hockey's freaking fun.
I think the Habs might be going to a
Yeah.
shootout.
And also let us know what's the latest wiener you've had and where that was from. Keep it PG.
Restaurant or man?
Oh.
No, just the restaurant. But anyway, we will see you guys next week.
There-
Stay safe. Go get a wiener.